I may separate this video into separate parts, but either way, let's start with the baby. It is only 1 year old and 4 heads tall. That is its proportions. Okay, first I'm going to put some guidelines for the proportions. And you don't necessarily always need to do this, but it will be good to do for I can't even talk. It'll be good to do. And I just want to make the head length, the head size the size of the ruler because it's easiest to measure. And the head is going to fill the whole top. And you see it has quite chubby cheeks that sort of droop around the chin. And these circles right here are just sort of showing where the elbow is. And the babies are very curved. They are plump and don't have defined muscles or bones. And their legs are very short in comparison to their body and their head. And their legs are often wide and stubby like this. And their arms too. Chubby babies. And babies don't have very much hair, so just unless you're Rapunzel and you're born with like a little head of hair for some reason. But there's a body of a standard, I guess, 1 year old. And I will draw next to it a face, so we can get more in the details of the baby's face, or the toddler's face. I'm making the chin lines go a bit over because the skin is a little chubby, I guess. And the eyes, let me show you my eye chart. They appear to have larger irises, but that is only because there is more skin around the eye because your eyesight doesn't change. There's more skin around the eye for babies, and then whenever the skin begins to pull back as you get older, it makes the eyes look smaller, or the iris look smaller, but really it's the same size. So we're making large irises that definitely touch the bottom of the eye and leave only small amounts of white on the edges. And noses for small children or small babies, they are quite small and not defined. You wouldn't see a baby with a pointy nose. And if you do, that would be very weird. I have not seen that before. And often with the lips, I don't know what this is called, the bump right here. You see this? It is often more pronounced than whenever you're older. And the eyebrows, they are quite light. Babies don't have much hair, so you wouldn't have thick eyebrows or eyebrows very far. That would take up much room. The ears are of normal proportion to how you would draw them for adults. And hair, they don't have as much hair. I've said it so many times, but the hairline is more back, like an old person. It's sort of like receded like an old person's, but as a baby. So there's a baby, and there's the body and the face. Something I found interesting that I did not know before doing studies for this video is that baby hands are smaller compared to their face, and so are teens, while adult ones will take up their whole face. I didn't think of that the ratio of hand versus face was different with different ages until I found that out. Also, when drawing babies or toddlers, they are very flexible and don't have very good motor skills, so they would often be in poses that would show that. Doing studies of people in different ages is very hard to find reference photos for, I have found, because mostly reference photos are for people in their prime, apparently, and not old people or young people. But a trick that it might help you is to look up people in swimsuits or at the beach, like child at the beach, or child going swimming, or child in a swimsuit, or like that. Or because I did that for when I was doing the studies of old people, of old people in swimsuits, to try to find studies of them for their body shape and things. And like how they hold themselves and stuff, to do visual studies. Now we will draw a child. I have here 3-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So let's choose 10-year-old. No, let's choose a 5-year-old. That's a me. Let's choose a 5-year-old to draw. Look at this. Look at this hand that exists. That's totally a hand. Uh-huh. Yeah, because I draw hands. It's not a hand. I'm just not into draw hands today. Do you ever have those days where you just don't want to draw hands? Yeah, I'm having one of those days. Gonna give it a tiny face so it can look around all over the place. It can have a life and it can have dreams. Just you and me. What the heck? What am I doing? That did not look like a face. Okay. Ignore how horrible this kid's face is. We'll make it even worse on purpose. Okay, I'm kidding. Get some hair, kid. Get some scribbly chibbly hair. Let's put the face over here, because I think there's more room. I drew this as a boy here, but I want to draw the face as a girl. Okay. The body for a child would be the same for a boy or a girl, basically. Like overall, mostly. I mean, unless they were naked, but yeah. small details. So that's the small detail. To be the same. And the eyes, the skin is more, there isn't as much skin as when you're a baby around them. So the irises are, there's more room, there's more whiteness here, but it is still not quite as much as whenever you are an adult. Also, since your hairs are more developed, I guess, in your face and everywhere, you're more likely to have more eyelashes as a child. Gotta get them eyebrows in your head. I think I made these eyes too far apart. Yeah, a little bit. Oh well. Some people's eyes aren't anatomically correct and they're slightly too far apart. So this person is that, like that, and they are special. And their noses are still very soft noses. And like small and soft noses. They are slightly more defined than baby noses. And ears, usually follow the bottom of the nose, top of the eyebrow. And I think I made the chin a bit too small. So let me, I have a problem with doing that. Making chins smaller than they're supposed to be. And the cheeks, they're usually still pretty full cheeks, even if their body has thinned out. On their hair, they've got some more hair now. And this is a girl, so I'm gonna give them girl hair. Keep it behind their ears so you can see them. So there's a child face. And children also are still quite flexible, but their bones are more defined. Their bones have been like, they aren't cartilage-y like babies often are. And I'm trying to think of a child pose. My camera just turned off and I have no idea if it's been recording or what. So, yay. Children are much better at sitting, curled up and stuff, and in weird positions that adults wouldn't do. I'm drawing this much faster than I thought I would. I just hope that it's actually recording the jazz I'm doing. That would be marvelous, camera. That would be marvelous. I already have a video about how to draw proportions and stuff, and it has this age, but so I think I'm going to focus on, for the drawing this, the adults, I think I'm going to focus on the difference between teens and adults, and I'm going to draw a female because I drew the male in my other one. Yes. So I'm going to draw a teenager right here. And females, they don't tend to grow much taller, if at all, if any taller, after their teen years. So that's why I kept their standard height the same here. But males tend to grow taller still. But that's a generalization. It's not like, oh, males must grow taller after teen years, and oh, females, that is impossible. It's just on average. I'm not really lazy on the arms. Just accept her for who she is and her whatever the heck these are. And they tend to have larger boobs by them. You know, sometimes, unless you just stick with your teenage boobs forever or something. That happens too, you know. But if you, and then the teenagers, you know, that somehow they go from like that to that, and you're just like, I just saw you 5 days ago and you looked like this, and now you look like that. What happened? Yeah, or you could just look like this your whole life until all of a sudden you look like this. When you get older, you get more hips. Well, if you're a female, I don't know if males get more hips when they get older. I don't think they do. That would be funny. And the legs, when you get older, your legs tend to be thicker. Just I think with age and like you've been walking around, you've been doing more work, now you're older, so your legs need more muscle to do all the work you're doing now. And for some reason this body is lopsided and one thigh is larger than the other because you're just asymmetrical like that. And look, the arms. There, you give her some totally radalicious circle hands that I worked so hard on. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it with the arms today. Yar. Oh man, she don't have nipples. There. That one's boobs look deformed. Oh, just ignore them. Okay. You get the general idea of the teen versus adult for this one. And for the male, the teen versus adult, it's just like the picture that I saw from another thing that I was looking at. It was just like more tall and more superhero looking, which I think that generally doesn't happen. But that's what the chart said. So apparently when you become adults, you turn into a muscular superhero. And teen faces, they are cuter. Adult faces, they are less cute. I don't think there's any difference between teen and adult poses. And the faces, teen and adults, they're pretty similar. Teen and adult, a teen face might be a little bit more, like this picture, how it's more rounded and less chin. And here it's a little bit more defined and more chin. And the space between the eye and the nose. Yeah, the space between the eye and the nose, there's this more distance. So I'd say maybe that. And the chin thing, like your face gets a bit larger along with your hand. Now we're gonna do some old people. Yay! In my chart here, I have the lady at 6.5 and the man at 7 heads tall, but for my demonstration here, I'm going to make them both 7 heads tall just to make it easier. And you know, it's the head tall is just a generalized thing, and that's almost the same. I'm drawing an old man first. When you grow old, your muscles begin to get less, and you tend to get more fat content in your body. And it's not bad, it's good to help protect your body, especially because your bones also become more brittle and easily broken and the fat can help protect them. When I was researching this, I didn't find anyone have I saw lots of different charts like these, like growth charts, but nobody had old people at the end of their charts, so I had to figure that out myself. And I would say the proportions of old people, like proportions change when you get old because you get shorter as your bones and things begin to compress from gravity of the earth and things. So that's why I made the old people shorter with proportions on there, but I'm not sure if only their torso gets shorter or if their legs also get shorter. I'm not sure about that. If only your spine compresses or if other parts of your body compresses also. Oh, by the way, the hands, I don't know if I said earlier, but they always fall right below the crotch area. See this line? And then there's the wrist. Always falls right below that area. For pretty much every single proportion, except for the two smallest, the 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, it's a little bit shorter. And the arms proportionally are shorter. And when you get old, when you're a female, your boobs get droopy. And when you're old, sometimes people will slouch more because they're just tired of standing up straight, I guess, and I don't know all the things. I think because your body gets tired. And there is my loppy-sided old person that I didn't draw very good. Oh dear. Everything is a bit more droopy. Look at their stomach is a bit droopy. I don't know as much about drawing older people, so I did some studies. I got this picture from an artist website that has models and resources and things. And I got this picture just randomly of this random man. And I got this as like a stock photo of an old guy's face to study wrinkles and things. So doing some studies like that, if you're having trouble drawing a particular age, might help. Now I'm going to draw an elder face to just talk about how the face changes as you get older, more in detail and more step by step than just these charts. I'm drawing it on the side just in case I want to draw another one right there. I did this guideline circle that I'm not even following at all for some reason. So let's just erase it. Yeah! Okay. Old people they all can age so differently with how the wrinkles are and everything. But a lot of times the cheeks can sag on the face, giving the sides sort of droopiness, like whenever we draw the baby faces. But the baby face is more plump, while an old person's face is more saggy is the difference, I guess. A little bump here. And there's, so they say there's cheekbones here. And the skin will sort of dip into it a little bit. and then droop down. Dip into the cheekbone a little bit and droop down. So it's like the cheeks had fat in here, but then they sort of ran out, and then the skin is just sort of sagging down on the face. I hope I am being descriptive and explanatory. Eyes, I was noticing, not always, sometimes on old people, the skin on the eyes seem to peel back even more, making them appear even larger, but sometimes they will, or more times than others, they will sag down and make the eye appear smaller, as the skin will sag around it. And the wrinkles sort of branch out from the eye on the sides here. And the nose, it is even more defined than when you're an adult, because I didn't talk about faces that much as adults, but from child to adult, the nose and the face loses basically the baby fat and becomes sharper and more defined. This is why I need to do this all in one video, because I always go back and forth like, oh yeah, I forgot to say this. Oh yeah, I need to say that. Because I don't know, it's just how my brain works apparently. Here's a nice way to find the nose. And lips, when you get older, they thin. They get thinner, so draw the real thin lips here. Unless you got really thick lips when you were younger, your lips might just be not as thin, I guess. I have super thin lips, so when I'm older, my lips will not exist. That's what I've decided will probably happen. And these are like smile lines coming off the nose and around the jowls. And this is the cheekbones and eyebrows. I noticed with females, when they get older, eyebrows tend to thin out. But when males, when they get older, eyebrows will get a lot of times really crazy and thick, even though they are white or gray or both. They will get very wiry and crazy looking, while the female ones might just disappear altogether and they have to draw them on. You get some stress lines there, some more forehead lines, and ears. Like the nose that continues to grow after you get older, the ears also continue to grow. So even though ears, we tend to do the bottom of the nose and like the top of the eyebrow, we're going to extend that and go higher than there and lower than there. So the ears, because the ears are larger. I'm trying to draw this in a way that you can actually see what I'm doing. I think I might have made his ears slightly too large, but I don't know. I've seen old people with pretty large ears, and not even old people. They could still be young people and have pretty large ears. And the hair, of course, thins out and tends to recede and maybe go away altogether. So, something like that. And there can be like sun marks on their face. Sort of like freckles, but it's like not normal freckles. Well, I hope this tutorial has helped you, and I hope I've covered all the points I've wanted to cover. And don't forget that I have these things, these charts I made linked in the description, so you can see them and you can save them for yourself. Bleep, bleep.